Tuesday Tarts. We're going to talk about another attribute of God tonight, the attribute of omniscience. And omniscience is a combination word. Omni means all, and science means knowledge. So God has all knowledge. And something we like to talk about here at our house a lot is God is not surprised by anything. You know, something happens here on earth, God's not going to be, oh, I wasn't expecting that. Well, I didn't see that coming. No, God knows. He knows it way before it ever happened. And I want to share some scriptures with you talking about his omniscience. And the first one we're going to turn to is Isaiah chapter 40, verses 12 through 14. It said, "Who hath measured the waters in the hollow of his hand?" So God has measured the waters in the hollow of his hand, in the middle, just the middle of his hand, he's measured the waters. "And meted out the heaven with the span, and comprehended the dust of the earth in a measure, and weighed the mountains in scales, and the hills in a balance. Who hath directed the Spirit of the Lord, or being his counselor hath taught him?" So who has taught the Lord? Nobody has taught the Lord. Nobody can teach him anything because he knows all. "With whom took he counsel, and who instructed him, and taught him in the path of judgment, and taught him knowledge, and showed him the way of understanding?" Of course, the answer to that is nobody. God has, all knowledge and all understanding. So now we're going to go back and look at some passages in Psalms. And the first one we're going to look at is Psalm 139, verses 1 through 6. And this is David, this is one of his Psalms. It says, "O Lord, thou hast searched me and known me. Thou knowest my downsetting and my uprising. Thou understandest my thought afar off." So he's saying, Lord, you know when I'm laying down, you know when I'm awake, you know my thoughts, God knows our thoughts. We can look at other people and say, well, they might be thinking this, but God knows our thoughts. He knows everybody's thoughts. "Thou compassest my path and my lying down, and art acquainted with all my ways. For there is not a word in my tongue, but lo, O Lord, thou knowest it altogether." So God even knows what we're going to say before we say it. "Thou hast beset me behind and before, and laid thine hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high, I cannot attain to it." And, that's how the knowledge of God is. It's so high that there's no way we can attain to it. He has more knowledge than everybody on earth combined, everybody that's been on earth combined. And there's nearly 8 billion people on earth now. And just try to imagine that God has more knowledge than everybody combined, including people even in the past, combined with these that are on earth today. And, that just blows my mind to think about that. And then he knows our thoughts. Not only knows my thoughts and your thoughts, he knows everybody's thoughts in the whole world. At all times, he knows what's going on in all our lives, every person's life on this earth. He knows what's going on at all times. And that just, I don't know about you, but it's very overwhelming to my mind. So the next psalm we're going to go to is 147, verse 5. It says, "Great is our Lord, and of great power. His understanding is infinite." So it means his understanding is without end, without beginning and without end, because he's always been here, always been around before our times began, and he goes on forever. And then we'll go back to Psalm 33, verses 13 and 14. "Why dost thou strive against him? For he giveth not account of any of his matters. For God speaketh once, yea, twice, yet man perceiveth it not. So there's no need in us striving against him, for he doesn't have to give an account of himself, because he knows everything, and he speaketh once, yea, twice, yet man perceiveth not. So, there's no way, we can stand before God and try to tell God anything. There's no way that we can give God advice. We may think we know what's good for us, and we might think, well, Lord, don't you think this would be good? He already knows. His knowledge is way above ours. And I just appreciate y'all tuning in, and hope y'all will give these scriptures some thought, and ponder on the omniscience of God. Thank you.